You've got to tune to KEXP. We're listener-powered radio at 90.3 FM in Seattle and online at KEXP.org. Very excited to have Mass Isa live in studio today. Welcome.
Hello, hi. Sorry.
Caught you a little off guard.
Yeah.
You've got quite a setup over there, and I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to see what you do with all of that. Why don't you start off with a couple of songs?
Great.
It's only work, son. See the more that you need it, I want to know that you suffer. That you live in, and I wanna know that you suffer. See, I get down what I mean, don't you talk up to me, don't you bother. See the same, and I know right. Only hands. I'm not touching them. And I don't wanna see the skin where they've been, where they've been, where they've been. I'm gonna roll, I'm gonna walk, I'm gonna quit. I'm not gonna talk, I'm not gonna say a thing. Just gonna go, just gonna stay within. I don't wanna know, I don't wanna know, I don't wanna show it again.
Mass Isa live on KEXP, playing at Barboza tonight here in Seattle. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much.
That sounded fantastic.
Thank you.
I understand that you're Canadian, but that you lived for a time in Brazil and you've lived kind of all over the U.S. or in lots of different places. Where were you living when in the sort of, as they say, formative years of music, or when you started making music, or it started sort of being a big thing in your life?
I guess I had a standard recorder elementary school experience.
Mary Had a Little Lamb, that kind of a thing?
Yeah. But I spent a lot of time, I guess, at the back of the class just blowing into it. And formatively for music, I guess, as a listener, was definitely in Brazil. And I had a lot of friends who are great musicians, and they really turned me on to a lot of things.
What was kind of your evolution of music that was an influence in your life? Was it Brazilian music? Were you getting a lot of American music? Was it the standard kind of big hits, or did you get kind of indie?
No, I think psychologically and emotionally, the biggest revelation for me musically was techno when I was 16 to 18. Mm-hmm. Mostly English techno that was kind of imported in big parties and DJs into Brazil. And that at a certain point wasn't even music. You know, we'd go home and listen to Brazilian stuff or listen to jazz or the Led Zeppelin tapes my brother gave me, things like that. But the techno kind of, for me personally, was just at the party and in the dance floor, and was much more psychological and visceral and emotional and revelatory than I guess like a listening experience, you know.
I understand that you've recently moved to upstate New York, but a lot's been made in the press about your living on the Kent Avenue music scene. Tell me a little bit about that time.
Amazing. I can't list how many influential and talented and supportive artists and musicians come out of that and still, you know, are really attached to each other and sharing stuff and making stuff. It's a long list, and I think for me, it was very amazing to get the support and, you know, the love, and just always be at shows and partake in all that. You know, it's a nice place to be when you could on a Tuesday be like, can I play on a Friday and email somebody or run into somebody and then have an opening spot, you know, first of 4 or something somewhere in the block, or, you know, that's invaluable.
I imagine life upstate's a little different than that totally immersive time in Brooklyn.
It's sober.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, daily life is probably very different. How is it creating music?
There's daytime.
Okay. Yeah. You see the light of day.
Yeah.
You've got a little pink on your cheeks.
Yeah. It's amazing. Woodstock's been upstate in that area has just been great, and most of the time I've been rehearsing and mixing and kind of getting certain things together and getting this live rig somewhat tamed. But as far as writing, I'm really excited to go into post South by Southwest and in the next kind of weeks and when the spring sort of erupts. Because I've been there a year, so I saw the spring, and I'm excited to kind of have a writing recording process while that happens. And with windows, I mean, I had a studio for 8 years and a bedroom with no windows, like no natural light. And I don't know what it's going to do. Maybe it'll shut me down totally, you know. But.
Well, you started releasing songs one at a time last year, and now you've got the EP Worth. What's coming down the pike?
Coming's a full length, and a full length, some remixes, you know.
Sounds like tons of fun.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for more music from Mass Issa, but you've got more for us today.
I do.
Playing tonight at Barboza.
What makes you tough? You show up with no cut. Some smile in the rain, not love. So don't you say love, no, this is shame. Shame.
Massisa live on KEXP. I would love to hear another, but I want to ask you really quickly. I'm looking at that massive setup over there, a bundle of wires, and I know you studied music composition in college. Is that how you were creating music then?
No. Sorry, look at all that. Reverb. Definitely not. Then I think in school there's very much a secret life. You know, you wrote the stuff, or I wrote the stuff I wanted for, or had to for class, and then the sort of more personal, cathartic stuff outside of that. And the rig itself and aesthetically, it's not a direct result of that, but it's more a result of influences from the community that kind of brought me to New York and yeah.
I noticed that you're wearing no shoes over there. Is that so you don't get shocked by all that equipment, or just to be more grounded? I see you dancing over there.
I try to wear shoes. I try to wear shoes. I always try to wear shoes on stage, but I always end up kicking them off. Today, I just started with them off, you know. Sometimes my socks come off, too.
It's very organic.
Yeah. I've heard people in the crowd going, I hate feet, you know. So unless I have monitors in front of me, it's offensive to some.
Oh, I think it just means you're getting into it.
Yeah.
If you do have time for one more, it would be great. Massisa's live in studio here at KEXP, and tonight here in Seattle at Barboza.
Pushing for your ghost, but lost, your name still burning in my throat. And I'm gonna run to the open one. If she gives it up, I'll go, but too much to touch. If you love it are still with us. You are still, no matter how weird it feels. Feelings are real. And we are all just people on my deathbed. I hope I think of you.
It's Massey's Live here in the KEXP studios. And I know you live in New York, but you're actually Canadian, is that right?
Yeah, I'm Canadian, from Montreal.
We're big fans of Canadian music here. And I also heard that you're a hockey player, which is the national Canadian pastime, I understand.
Yeah, my brother puts me to shame.
Okay.
But yeah, I love hockey.
Do you play regularly where you're living now?
I did. When I was in New York, I played in Queens.
Nice.
But other than that, my Canadian goes. I was playing the Tragically Hip earlier today for a friend of mine in the car, and I got to spread it.
Flying the national flag there.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder, because you lived in Brazil, and the name of the band is Mas Isa. It's Masysa.
Yeah.
I would have guessed Mas Isa, and I'm thinking, is that your little Canadian spin on it? Say Mas Isa?
Mas doesn't. My mother's Ecuadorian, so I have some Spanish language floating around the house, but Mas doesn't necessarily mean more. That's kind of a long story.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll get it next time you come through when the full length is done.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Tom. It's great to have you here. It's Mas Isa Live on KEXP Seattle.